Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to go over how to get started with the Unit 1 content. So of course I've already mentioned in a previous video that the first thing you should do is refer to the schedule of activities to look at the things that you'll be responsible for as a student and what days those are going to be due by. Those will be indicated in the schedule of activities. There are other tools and widgets in D2L that will help you with that, but the schedule of activities should be the main reference point for those things. So I would suggest looking over the Unit 1 content in the schedule of activities first. One thing you'll notice in the schedule of activities is that there are some things that are divided into readings and some things that are divided into process or participation work. So if it's readings from the textbook chapter, I want y'all to do that, and I want y'all to annotate that to the best of your ability, whatever you think is important or whatever you think will help you remember the content. But the textbook chapter readings aren't going to receive a participation grade. So I'm not going to ask you to show me your annotations for those, but I do encourage you to do so. And then everything that's under process and participation work does receive a participation grade. So when you read and annotate the outside articles or do any of the activities that you submit to the Dropbox, anything like that, those do receive a participation grade. So I hope that difference and delineation is clear in the schedule of activities. But if you ever have a question about what's graded or what's not graded, you can always send me an email and ask. To get started with the content, go to Course Tools and Content. And as I said in the introduction video, the course is divided into modules. So you've got the Start Here module with the course information and the Week 1 activities, your Schedule of Activities module, the Need Help module, and then your Learning Content module, which will contain the 4 units for the course. So you have 4 major assignments or 4 portfolio assignments for the course. They're divided up into 4 units. And then there's your first one right there, Unit 1, Fun with Fandom. And of course, that'll be labeled the same way in the Schedule of Activities. So if you're looking for whatever module a particular thing is in, look over to the left of the schedule and it'll show the name of the unit. All right, so when I get into the Unit 1 module, there's a little overview here at the top that just talks about what we're going to be doing in this unit and what I hope you'll learn as a result of completing this unit. And then you'll have your checklist for the unit. So that's going to contain all of the assignments that are in the schedule of activities along with their due date. So hopefully you get those notifications and pings through D2L as an additional reminder. There's also a couple of checklists in there for the things you should turn into the Dropbox for this unit. And there's just a few things that I want y'all to just check off and make sure that you've done before you attempt the Dropbox assignments for this unit. Okay, and then I've also tried to make it a little bit clearer. I've also divided it up by week 2 through 6, which is also matches up with the schedule of activities. So we'll just kind of go over each one of these really quickly. So of course, each week starts with some reading content. In the schedule, I'll indicate a date that I think is probably best to have read that content by, but it's really up to you because like I said, I'm not going to give y'all a grade on your chapter readings, but do please read the chapter content before you attempt any of the other activities for the module or for that particular week. So we're going to start with Chapter 1, and Chapter 1 is all about annotating. It's all about critical reading, thinking about rhetorical situation. Hopefully a lot of this is a review from English 101, but if not, it's a good basis for refreshing your memory about things like rhetorical situation, critical reading, how to annotate and read critically so that when we get into those annotation assignments, you kind of have a basis for what you're supposed to be doing in those annotation assignments. I've included the PowerPoints for the chapters as well, just as an additional resource to kind of break it down into bullet points, but do please read over the content as well. So these pages here link directly to the textbook. There's also a link to the textbook in the Start Here module. You may want to bookmark that textbook link so that you can get back to it really easily, but they are linked here in the modules too. They take you straight there. The Chapter 1 Toolkit. So it references in the schedule of activities this idea of completing the Chapter 1 Toolkit sections, or at least some of them. So what you're going to do here, they're included in the modules, and you just click on it. It's a Word document, as you can see. And you're going to download that to your computer, okay? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to put this in your OneDrive folder. That way, when I go to check for it, I can look at and comment, and we can kind of complete these in a kind of dynamic fashion. It's not just you submit it to the Dropbox, I give you feedback, and then that's it. We don't do anything else with it. So what you're going to do is you're going to upload this to your OneDrive folder and complete the sections that are indicated in the schedule of activities to the best of your abilities. So these are sort of pass-fail effort kind of only process work, but I want you to complete this process work because these exercises are really good for getting you to think about the chapter content and to get your creative thinking flowing for your major or portfolio assignment for the unit. So upload that to your OneDrive folder, complete the sections that are indicated in the schedule by the date that it indicates on the schedule. Remember, these are designed where you can just kind of go through by clicking back or forward throughout the module, but if you want to go back to a specific part of the module, you can always use the navigation up here at the top as well. So we have Unit 1 and the toolkit for Unit 1, and then the previously on how recaps change the way we watch television. So you're going to click on that, sign into your Hypothesis account and annotate that. There's a video in the news announcements that gives you some tips on how to get started with that if you're confused about how to get started with that first annotation assignment. Looking ahead a little bit to week 3, we'll be doing chapter 7. Chapter 7 is all about reviews. Your portfolio or major assignment for the unit is kind of like a review. So we'll talk about that more in a moment here, but the chapter is all about reviews and evaluation and how to write a review or an evaluation. And so you'll read over the chapter and complete the sections of the toolkit just like you did in week 2, download it to your computer, upload it to your OneDrive folder, and then complete it, and I'll take a look at that and give y'all some feedback on your process work. And then one annotation assignment. So it's pretty much a repeat of week 2, just with some different content. An annotation assignment, Only Murders in the Building is Embracing the Darkness. This reading right here is a really good example of the kind of analysis and thought that I want you to put into your portfolio assignment for the end of the unit. In week 4, we've got chapter 11, which is about synthesis. And then you'll submit your first Dropbox assignment, which is a playlist for your genre analysis essay. So there's more detailed instructions here in the module, but what you're going to be doing is you're going to be basically thinking of a topic for your essay. Then you're going to be creating a playlist of songs that you think are kind of related to a theme or an idea or a character from that particular movie, TV show, whatever you choose as your topic. And then you're going to practice quotation. This is the biggest, most important thing that you're doing here. You're going to practice quotation by incorporating the song quotes into your explanation of your choices. So you're going to write some paragraphs explaining why you chose that song. You're going to use some quotes to illustrate why you chose those things. And then more importantly, you're going to integrate those quotes using the things that you read in the previous week, that H11 chapter on quotations. So showing that you know how to integrate specific source evidence, including quotes, into your writing. Then there's 2 more annotated readings, so from Sonic the Hedgehog to Star Wars, and then WandaVision, and there are 2 more examples of analysis of things like film, TV shows, etc. The sort of thing that I want you to do in your analysis essay, and that's choose a topic like a movie, a TV show, a podcast, a book, etc., and then give me some kind of thesis or analysis of it. So all these readings that you're annotating with Hypothesis are good examples of that. In week 5, we're getting a little bit closer to turning in your first essay. So you're going to turn in a draft of your essay, and we're going to do a peer review during week 5. And then at the beginning of week 6, you'll submit your genre analysis essay, and then we'll transition into unit 2. So again, the genre analysis essay is basically an analysis where you choose a TV show, movie, podcast, comic book, video game. You can think of anything you like as long as it's something that it's entertainment, it's creative, and you think you can come up with a good, interesting thing to say about it. So whatever you like, as long as it fits kind of that criteria. Hopefully the content in the textbook is going to help you arrive at a really good topic that you can analyze and you can provide an interesting thesis about. Hopefully the toolkit stuff that we do, and then also the annotated readings, will help you out with that as well. If you have any questions about your topic, how to get started, anything like that, please feel free to ask for an office hours appointment. Remember, if you go to that Start Here module and go to the instructor information, you can request an office hours appointment right there. All you have to do for scheduled office hours is ask by scheduling an appointment. That's when I'm available to help students with whatever they need. If you want to have an office hours appointment outside of those times, then you are welcome to propose a time to me by sending me an email. There are other resources to help you as well. You can go to the Academic Success Center, which is on campus, and meet with a tutor there. Or you can use the tutor.com through D2L, free tutoring there as well. But those are all ways that you can get help if you're not quite sure what to do. I really suggest starting off the module or starting off the week by looking at by basically looking at the major assignment for the unit and kind of getting an understanding of what I'm asking you to do and what your topic should be and all that stuff. So one thing that I will say about the major or portfolio assignment for the unit is that you can choose basically anything you want, and your thesis can be basically anything you want. It's up to you as the writer to come up with those things. So I'm not going to tell you what specifically to write about. I'm not going to tell you what specifically to say about the topic that you're writing about. But what you should do is choose something creative that you can say something interesting about. And like I said, there's lots of things in the unit that'll help you get to that analysis that I hope you'll be able to see and engage in and find useful. But if you do need help, please reach out to me or a tutor. But that's just a quick overview of Unit 1. I look forward to working with y'all and seeing y'all's work throughout the unit. And look for more information from me in the news announcements as we go throughout the unit.